5 days later. The Tri-Union Cooperation Zone. The dungeon. 2 sets of spirit-suppressing devices hummed relentlessly, their vibrations filling the cramped cell with a noise so harsh it felt like knives splitting through the skull. On the wall, 6 iron chains as thick as a man's arm bound another man tightly, trussed up like a sacrificial offering. His head hung low. His breath was so faint it was almost imperceptible even to himself. His body, his face, every inch was covered in lash marks. Not a single patch of unbroken skin remained. Beneath him, the ground was already a pool of blood. The iron door of the cell swung open. "Commander, please be careful," the guard whispered, trembling. Footsteps echoed. The bound man did not even have the strength to lift his head. With great effort he forced his eyes open, just enough to see a pair of polished leather boots stepping into the blood. "Yi Liang." Su Bei's voice was soft, stripped of all emotion. "You didn't expect me to survive, did you?" Yi Liang's gaze was dim. He gave no reply. Su Bei continued, "Everyone around you. Su Wanjun killed them all." Yi Liang's body shuddered faintly. "Your neighbors. Your most loyal men." Wang Haixing, outside the Tongding wall, lost both arms trying to protect you. Zhou Feng, once your captain, later your adjutant after you became general. Li Wenxue. Su Bei recited the names one by one. Yi Liang trembled harder with each name. None of them had been on Su Wanjun's original list. And yet now, they are all dead. Every one of them. Even their families. Executed by Su Wanjun. Su Bei's voice grew quieter, but Yi Liang heard every word, clear as steel despite the roar of the spirit devices. Slowly, painfully, Yi Liang raised his head. Su Bei froze. One of Yi Liang's eyes was gone, not gouged out but burst open by the whip. "You've changed," Su Bei murmured. "Once I thought you were handsome. But now." He had to admit, Yi Liang's appearance was terrifying. Like a demon dragged straight from hell. "You want to torment me?" Each word cost Yi Liang his entire strength. Blood dripped from his jaw as he spoke. "I hate you," Su Bei whispered, his voice trembling. "If you hadn't kidnapped me, my mother would still be alive." Yi Liang's eyes held no apology. He knew Su Bei's mother was dead. He had seen it himself. That sight had broken him. Su Wanjun was a madman. If Yi Liang had stayed silent, everyone close to him would have been tortured before death. So he betrayed Su Bei's location. He confessed. But even then he did not beg Su Wanjun to spare his people. He knew it was impossible. All he asked was for Su Wanjun to grant them a swift death. To leave their bodies whole. That was all Yi Liang could do. It wasn't that he didn't care. It was that his care was powerless. Yet he never imagined that everyone connected to him would die anyway. Entire families wiped out. And only he, the traitor, was left alive. Killing him would have been easy. But Su Wanjun wanted more. He wanted dominion over life and death itself. "Life or death, only I decide. My mother, she was beautiful. You saw her once." Su Bei sat before Yi Liang. They say when Su Wanjun returned triumphant from beyond the Tongding wall, he spotted her in the welcoming crowd. The story of a hero and a common girl began in cliché. But it didn't stay that way. Su Bei's voice drifted almost to himself. At some point as his power grew, as his rank rose, he began to believe mortals were beneath him. He gave a bitter laugh. Yi Liang remembered too, the girl who once sat beside Su Wanjun, promising to bear him a son. But instead of bringing new life into the world, she lost her own. In my mother's heart, Su Wanjun was always that radiant figure, returning with the dark host from beyond the wall. Even as his treatment of her worsened, she bore it without complaint. She told me often, "Your father is a hero. You should be proud of him." She was foolish, so foolish. Tears welled in Su Bei's eyes. She never realized Su Wanjun didn't merely stop loving her. He despised her. He loathed her. He hated her. To him she was a stain on his life. The mighty supreme commander, tainted by a woman with no status, no power, no lineage, bearing him a child. And that hatred slowly shifted from her to me. Su Bei rubbed his eyes. In his heart I was filth. Yi Liang said nothing. He was too weary. I remember once Su Wanjun passed my room while I slept. I don't know what crime I committed, but he stormed in and beat me all night. I begged him to stop. I told him I was in pain. I screamed until my voice broke. But when I saw the look in his eyes, I knew, no matter how I pleaded, it was useless. In that gaze I wasn't his son. I was a beast from beyond the wall. Su Bei scratched his head. Later, I heard that day the 4th Division of the Dark Host had been annihilated outside the wall. I was only 8. I couldn't understand. What did their destruction have to do with me? It wasn't my fault. As I grew, I began to understand. But it didn't matter. Being dragged from bed and beaten, it wouldn't kill me. And it didn't happen every night. I learned to endure. This went on until I was 15. Su Bei's eyes gleamed faintly. That year I gained my own spirit companion. When Su Wanjun learned its name, Light Arrow, his attitude changed. He began to think, maybe I wasn't so filthy after all. He stopped dragging me from bed to beat me. Su Bei laughed. But the laughter was hollow, drenched in sorrow. The one he beat instead was my mother. I begged him to strike me instead. I was used to it. I could endure it. Before 15 my world was small. The warmest place was my mother's embrace. And the sweetest thing I knew was the lollipops she made for me. That was the only sweetness in my childhood. But I didn't understand. Every time I begged him, it didn't soften him. It only made him beat her harder. One time my cries enraged him completely. He said something I will never forget. His expression, his eyes, his tone. I remember it all. Su Bei trembled. He said, if I ever begged for that lowly woman again, he would kill her himself. Su Bei lowered his head. Tears slid down his jaw and fell onto the ground. From that day on, I didn't dare see my mother anymore. Every time I went to her, Su Wanjun would beat her afterward. He never forbade me from visiting her, but this was his way of telling me he hated it. Later I said I wanted to go beyond the Tongding Wall. I wanted to earn merit, to grow, to break free from his chains. But he wouldn't allow it. Su Bei gave a bitter laugh. He said he feared I'd die out there. That he loved me. That he didn't want me to face danger. This old bastard, even he has things he cannot control. Inside the great districts, no matter what trouble I stirred, he could smooth it over. But beyond the Tongding Wall, even Su Wanjun wasn't so confident. So I raised hell inside the districts. I wanted to see just how powerful Su Wanjun really was. I killed many. Countless regions put me on their wanted lists. Sometimes I even walked straight into their traps. But every time, I was released. The warrants across the districts were a joke. I don't even know who they were meant to fool. In F-27 when you dragged me out, I thought it would be the same as always. But I didn't expect. You've got guts, Yi Liang. Su Bei slowly lifted his head, staring at Yi Liang's ruined face. I swear to God I want to kill you. Yi Liang gazed back quietly, his eyelids drooping so low they left only a thin slit. You bound me, broke my limbs, even cut out my tongue. And still, I didn't hate you. Su Bei's eyes burned red. But what you did led to my mother's death. Suddenly, Su Bei roared like a madman, his voice echoing off the stone walls. She was the only person in this world who truly loved me. Yi Liang remained calm in the face of Su Bei's frenzy. Su Bei clenched his fists so tightly his whole body shook, his teeth grinding audibly. It's over. Yi Liang forced the words out, each one costing him breath. Living hurts too much. I won't kill you. Su Bei was silent for a long time before speaking again. Yi Liang exhaled weakly. As expected, death was too hard to come by. Just as he braced himself for more torment, Su Bei walked toward the spirit-suppressing devices. Clack. Clack. He shut them down. Yi Liang blinked in surprise. Then Su Bei opened the cell door. A girl appeared in the doorway. Heal him. Su Bei's tone was almost a command. The girl was Guan Rou, the one who had healed Su Bei before. Her brows furrowed, her eyes filled with reluctance. I said heal him. Su Bei's voice grew harsher. Su Bei, the commander, never. Bang. Su Wanjun can slaughter everyone you love. And so can I. Su Bei seized Guan Rou by the throat, slamming her against the wall. I'll say this one last time, heal him. Her face flushed crimson as she struggled for breath. Finally she nodded. Su Bei released her. Cough, cough. Guan Rou collapsed to the floor, coughing violently. When she finally steadied her breath, she looked up at Su Bei. Can you protect my family? When you heal him, we'll marry. Su Bei's face was grim. In Su Wanjun's eyes, as long as we play into his fantasies, your family will remain safe for now. Guan Rou hesitated, then steeled herself. She stepped toward Yi Liang. Spirit companion, light's grace. Warmth spread through Yi Liang's body. The pain dulled. Su Bei, what are you doing? He didn't understand. Su Bei's eyes burned with venom. I hate you. But I hate Su Wanjun more. Grinding his teeth, Su Bei seemed torn apart by his own thoughts. And Su Wanjun was right about one thing. I'll never kill him in this lifetime. But you might. Yi Liang understood. You mean to release me? Yes. Su Bei's voice was low, deliberate. I want you to live in agony. Until you kill Su Wanjun. And you're not afraid I'll kill you first? Yi Liang asked. Su Bei laughed. Do you think I'm any different from a dead man now? Yi Liang fell silent. Su Bei was broken. So was he. They were not allies. But they shared the same target. Su Wanjun. Su Bei wanted Yi Liang to become his blade. And Yi Liang was willing to be that blade. You're not afraid Su Wanjun will take it out on you? Let him. Golden light flickered across Su Bei's hand. He won't kill me. I'm the most crucial piece of his ambition. As long as I live, I'll see the day he dies. Yi Liang felt Su Bei's hatred, vast, consuming. And he shared it. I will kill him. Yi Liang's voice was hoarse. It's the only reason I keep breathing. Then I wish you success. Su Bei laughed, manic and broken. Su Wanjun thinks himself a god. I can't wait to see the beautiful sight, when a god is slain. Brother, I feel uneasy, like someone's watching us. In a finely furnished room, Sun Yingying sat cross-legged, her short hair framing her tense face. She looked at Zhou Liang, who lounged on the sofa, cigarette dangling from his lips, a tattered magazine in hand. Watching us. Who? Zhou Liang smirked, flipping a page. Stem, that's huge. Brother, I'm a girl. Sun Yingying frowned. Can't you look at that in your own room? Fine, fine. Not yours then. He tossed the magazine aside and sat up. All right, tell me, who's watching us? I don't know. She sighed, unwilling to argue. It's just a feeling. Then put Ghost Eye on the roof. I did. It saw nothing. Then you're imagining things. Zhou Liang waved dismissively. If even your ghost eye didn't notice, what? Are they invisible? And who the hell would bother with us anyway? Brother, I'm serious. My instincts are sharp. He was annoyed. It's not that I don't take you seriously. But either you're being too sensitive or... His smile turned cold. Or they know Ghost Eye's ability. Sun Yingying froze. You mean, they deliberately avoided it? Impossible. Even if they knew my ability, how could they know where I placed it? They're clever. He pointed upward. Ghost Eye works best from high ground. That's the obvious choice. Her wariness deepened. Zhou Liang gestured at the discarded magazine. If your instincts are right, then to them, we're like this book. What do you mean? She didn't understand. Zhou Liang chuckled. Like standing here naked. Deben, pull back. Keep watching and we'll risk exposure. Ning Fan stood at the window of a tall building speaking into his phone. Su Ben received the order and lumbered out of the fine dining restaurant, belly protruding. In the 5 days since they had chosen Zhou Liang's ace squad as their target, preparations had been made. First, Ning Fan, Huizi and Deben went to the second floor of the Points Plaza. After handing over 2 wristbands from the 6th Division to Mei Jie, Ning Fan's team broke past the 100-point threshold. The second floor was a curiosity in itself. As Tian Jingqing had said before, the goods there were far more enticing than those on the first. On the first floor, most medicines were harvested from valuable parts of exotic beasts, like the bile crystals of the rotten-face frog. They could heal wounds, yes, but slowly, and swallowing them was revolting. The second floor offered medicines with the same effects, but faster, cleaner, easier to stomach. More importantly, Ning Fan had seen weapons of the 100 Souls tier displayed there. The price? 80 to 100 points. He had no intention of buying them. His purpose was different. He wanted to show those already watching them that his team could reach the second floor. One mission. Over 100 points. We are not easy prey. Next, Ning Fan spent heavily on 3 phones capable of communication in the wild. 20 points each. By comparison to the outside world, they were cheap. Every price tag in the plaza screamed the same truth to the hunting squads. Points matter more than Salas. Risk your life. Gather points. With the remaining points, Ning Fan spared no expense, pouring most into medicines. Now every backpack bulged with supplies. As Ning Fan put it, this hunt would be all in. Success meant endless opportunities to earn more points later. Huizi called. Ning Fan, did they notice something? Why haven't they left the district yet? His voice was tight with nerves. On paper, Zhou Liang's team was stronger. Their only advantage was foreknowledge. If the enemy realized they were being watched, the tables would turn. Ning Fan crouched in the shadows of his room, eyes fixed on the building opposite, where Zhou Liang's squad was holed up. He was silent for a long time. Prepare as if we've been discovered. No hunting squad in F-70 could be underestimated. Least of all an ace team. For 5 days Ning Fan had been meticulous. He had memorized every scrap of information about Zhou Liang's people. But there was one thing no dossier could capture. The instinct for danger. Not the nose, but the raw sense honed by years of dancing on the edge of death. Qiao Fei's side is ready. But if they never leave the district, we can't strike here, can we? They will. Ning Fan's voice was low. They're under time pressure. That was what made them an ace team. They could harvest more wristbands than anyone else. But if their yield slowed, their standing in the 9th squad would plummet. Fine. Huizi muttered. This kind of waiting grinds you down. Better to fight beasts head-on. At least then you can swing your blade. Patience, Huizi. The one who endures longest wins. All right. I'll wait. Call me if anything changes. The line went dead. Ning Fan frowned, lost in thought. What had he overlooked? Brother, news from Xiaoyu. Sun Yingying pushed open Zhou Liang's door. On the bed, Zhou's face was flushed red, a magazine propped before him. Damn. She slammed the door shut. Zhou Liang. Are you sick? Ever heard of locking the door? Rustling sounds followed. Moments later, Zhou emerged, fully dressed, face grave. Yingying, what did Xiaoyu say? She stared at him in disbelief. You're shameless. What are you talking about? I don't get it. Fuck. She cursed under her breath. Your act is one of a kind in F District. She let it drop. No point arguing about the sordid scene she'd just witnessed. Xiaoyu says the prey is leaving the district. Oh. Zhou adjusted his pants, thought for a moment. You and Xiao Yu go. Fine. Ying glanced back into the room, spotting a crumpled paper ball on the floor beside the bed. Her face twisted in disgust. Brother. What? It's bad for your health. No worries. I'm tough. Fuck. She turned to leave. But Zhou grabbed her wrist. She spun, eyes sharp with suspicion. What are you doing? Relax. You know I don't like flat ones. Zhou Liang. Did you collect Ghost Eye? His sudden seriousness cut her short. Yes. Why? He thought for a moment. When you, Xiao Yu and Wei Wei head out, let Xiao Yu shadow the prey. What do you mean? Once they leave the district, plant Ghost Eye on the outer wall. Then hide. She blinked, then her eyes lit up. Brother. You notice someone watching us too? Not sure. But better safe than sorry. Zhou gazed out the window. What if some lunatic wants to make a name by taking us down? Ying's face hardened. All right. Wei Wei and I will watch outside. Any movement, we'll report immediately. Good. Go. She hesitated. Brother, what about you? I'll think on something. What? Something big. I'm not stupid. What do you mean? Just don't overdo it. Damn it. She shook free and left. Zhou cleared his throat, locked the door and returned to his bed, picking up the magazine once more. Meanwhile, Ningfan called Qiao Fei. Fei Jie, they may be moving. Relax. I'm watching the gate. Her voice was low. Ningfan paused, then said, Count carefully how many leave. Until all 5 are together. Do not, under any circumstances, alert them. Yingjia, what's Brother Yang doing? Isn't he coming with us? A buzz-cut youth trotted beside Sun Yingying, a massive blade strapped to his back, nearly as tall as he was. Feng Yu. Spirit companion. Moon slash. 10 souls tier. He's busy killing himself. Sun Yingying snapped. I swear I'll never understand what goes on in you men's heads. That filthy rag of a book, he's been staring at it for 10 years. What the hell does he think he's going to find in it? Book. Feng Yu blinked, then his eyes lit up. Brother Yang's book? It's actually pretty good. Get lost. If you want to read it, go sit with Zhou Liang and drool over it together. She cursed under her breath. Feng Yu chuckled. Yingjie, you're jealous, aren't you? Fuck off. Her temper flared. Jealous of a book? Don't be shy. You like Brother Yang. Everyone knows it except him. Feng Yu laughed nervously. But when he saw the murderous glint in her eyes, he shut his mouth instantly. How far has the prey gone? Her voice was cold. Feng Yu sobered. 5-6 minutes. Should be outside the district by now. Don't worry, I'll catch him. You go first. Wei Wei and I will follow. Her tone grew serious. I've had this feeling lately, like someone's watching us. Feng Yu stiffened, then sneered. Who's tired of living? I don't know. Her face hardened. Brother Yang said if my instincts are right, it means the enemy knows us well. Feng Yu narrowed his eyes, scanning the surroundings. Now that you've said it, I feel eyes everywhere. Enough. Just follow the prey. Wei Wei and I will handle the rest. All right. Be careful. Feng Yu turned to the quiet man beside them. Wei Wei, protect Yingjia, okay? Wei Wei was so gaunt he looked like skin stretched over bone, as if a strong wind might blow him away. Don't worry. Zhou Liang's built like a tank. Give him 10 minutes, he'll be here. Yingying muttered, clearly displeased. All right then, I'm off. Feng Yu wasted no time, striding quickly toward the district gates. Wei Wei. Once he was gone, Yingying turned to him. Wei Wei lifted his deadfish eyes to her, silent. You can tell I like Zhou Liang too, can't you? He stared at her for a long moment, saying nothing. She sighed. Talking to him was exhausting. But after 2 steps he finally spoke. I'm not blind. Outside F70 district, Xiao Fei crouched in the crook of a tree, clad in black. The plants here glowed faintly, but unless one looked closely, she was invisible. It was her third day in this spot. Ever since they'd bought the phones, she had stationed herself here, watching. From this vantage, she had a perfect view of the district gates. In her hands were sheets of paper, notes on everyone who had left in recent days. It was tedious work requiring patience. Deben and Huizi weren't suited for it. Only Xiao Fei could manage. Suddenly her eyes sharpened. Feng Yu. She saw him stride quickly out of the district. She glanced down at her notes. The last group to leave. 4 men, abilities unknown. Weapons. 1 sword, 2 blades, 1 staff. Feng Yu was tailing them. That confirmed it. Their target was Zhou Liang's prey. She pulled out her phone and dialed Ning Fan. Feng Yu's out. They've begun the hunt. Anyone else? No, just him. Wait. Her eyes narrowed. Sun Yingying and Su Wei just came out too. Yingying's. She's placing Ghost Eye on the wall. Indeed, Yingying hadn't followed Feng Yu immediately. She pressed her hand against the wall instead. Without prior knowledge, Xiao Fei might not have guessed what she was doing. Ning Fan, are we exposed? Her brows furrowed. She's clearly probing for a tail. Hard to say. Maybe they're just cautious. Ning Fan's voice was low. Fei Jie, be careful. Don't let them spot you. We can't back you up right now. Relax. Without your order, I won't move. Good. Leave Feng Yu for now. They'll regroup anyway. What about Zhou Liang? No idea. Ning Fan frowned. That bastard hasn't left his room. Who knows what he's plotting? After a few more words, he hung up. Then he called Huizi. Huizi, has Lu Haibao moved? No. Huizi sounded irritated. That bastard went into a brothel 2 days ago and hasn't come out. Don't tell me he died in there. Keep watching. Fei Jie says they may be moving. Fine. Huizi grumbled. I don't get it. They're about to act and they're still wasting energy like this. What's in their heads? Confidence. Ning Fan muttered. They're used to being hunters. He hung up, deep in thought. Yingying's move made him more wary. Whether or not they'd been exposed, one thing was clear. Zhou Liang's team wasn't as careless as they seemed. Privately they might lack discipline. But once on a mission they shifted instantly, into absolute caution. This Zhou Liang, splitting his team like this. Is he baiting us into striking piecemeal? The situation was tempting. Lu Haibao was lost in pleasure. Zhou Liang hadn't left his room. Feng Yu was tailing prey. At the gate, only Sun Yingying and Su Wei remained. By Ning Fan's logic, the first target should be Yingying. Blind their eyes, then drag the fight out. But Zhou Liang's team was ace for a reason. They knew Yingying was their most dangerous member. Surely they'd guard her carefully. No. Could Su Wei alone protect her? The opportunity was here. If Ning Fan struck now, success was likely. But if they failed, Feng Yu would return. Lu Haibao would emerge. And Zhou Liang, just 200 meters away, could strike. Then Wild Dog's den would be surrounded. Haibao, how's it going? Zhou Liang tugged up his pants, phone clamped between shoulder and ear. About time. We've got work to do. Brother, I've been waiting for your call. A sleazy voice crackled through the line. Come settle my tab, will you? Zhou froze. Lu Haibao chuckled awkwardly. Didn't bring enough cash. This girl's been cursing me half the day. Fuck. You're really making me proud. Zhou snapped. I don't even splurge on myself and now I've gotta pay your bill? Brother, you're the best. Lu Haibao gave a bitter laugh. Can't kill her over a few hundred salas, right? We've got feelings. Feelings, my ass. No, really. Pure feelings. Like yours for that magazine. Get lost. Wait there. Zhou cursed and hung up, cinching his belt before storming out. Outside he dialed Sun Yingying. Yingying, any movement? You done with your business? Yeah. Figured it out. Heh. Quit joking. Any situation or not? No. She hesitated. Still feels wrong, but no one followed. Zhou was silent. So what now? Do we move or not? Of course. We're short 6 wristbands this month. What, you gonna feed me if we quit? Zhou Liang. You jerking off hallucinations? Why the hell would I feed you? You think you're handsome? You're too old for this shit. I was kidding. Don't get worked up. He shifted tone. All right. Wait there. I'll bail Haibo out, then meet you. What? She blinked. Zhou muttered curses. That bastard went chasing women empty-handed. No money, got himself locked in. It took her a moment to process. Finally she understood. Zhou Liang. What, sis? After this job we're done. Her voice shook with fury. You two can go solo. I won't carry this shame anymore. Enough is enough. Wei, if we split, you sticking with me or with Zhou? After hanging up, Yingying's cheeks puffed with anger. She turned to Su Wei, who stared silently. What are you staring at? I asked you a question. Won't split. His voice was flat. Without anyone the team doesn't work. He blinked, stunned. You wouldn't as you are, that was kinda sweet. Just then phone you called. Yingying, the praise settled. What are they planning? Not sure. Looks like they're waiting to ambush some unlucky bastards coming back from the hunting grounds. Heh. Fresh hands. Playing the odds. Isn't that how everyone starts? Fine. Keep eyes on them. We'll join soon. She hung up, rubbing her chin. This hunt shouldn't be difficult. From the praise movements, they were clearly inexperienced. New teams often camp near the hunting grounds, waiting for returning squads. The logic was simple. Anyone coming back would be wounded, their strength drained. And outside the grounds, vigilance dropped. After hours of tension inside, the relief of daylight made people careless. Perfect prey for beginners. Except for one thing, too many wolves, too little meat. Every rookie thought of this tactic. When the ambush began, the victims might be weak, but the scavengers, they'd tear into each other like rabid dogs. The chaos would be spectacular. Ning Fan's team had never faced this for good reason. They'd paid a driver 5 points to pick them up. In F70 that rule was ironclad. Few dared break it. Yet Yingying's unease grew stronger. It was supposed to be simple. So why was her chest tight with dread? Was it jealousy over that damned book clouding her mind? Smack. Lu Haibao's long hair whipped as Zhou Liang slapped him hard across the head, sending him stumbling. Brother, why hit me? Haibao looked bewildered, not angry. Zhou raised his hand again, face twisted with rage. How many did you screw? A day and a half, 5,000 salas gone. Brother, you know me. I've got no hobbies. Just like it lively. Cut the crap. Pay me back after this hunt. Zhou snarled. 2 points. Brother, you're carving me alive. Or I take the money back now and throw you out? Don't scare me. You'll need me in the hunt. Zhou glared at his shameless grin, helpless. Now I get why Yingying wants to quit. Quit. Haibao blinked. Brother, she confessed and you shot her down? Damn, I missed a lot these 2 days. But when he saw Zhou's murderous glare, he sobered instantly. Brother, let's focus on the job. You still remember the job? Maybe save some stamina before it. Zhou cursed, then flushed red himself. Haibao misread it, thinking he'd angered him, and hurried to explain. Brother, I'm full of energy. 2 days here, most of it was just getting yelled at. Didn't waste much strength. Get lost. When the two finally regrouped with Yingying and Su Wei, Wild Dog's Den began their move. On the phone, Ning Fan's voice was urgent. Trail them slowly. Keep at least 200 meters back. The wilderness was dim, but Yingying's ghost eye could only sense within 100 meters. Zhou's range was 200. Ning Fan wasn't sure if he had long-range detection. 200 meters was the safe zone. Beyond that, Huizi couldn't track them. Huizi sniffed the air. Ning Fan, they split again. Can you tell who left? Pretty sure it's Zhou Liang. Huizi's voice dropped. Smells fishy. Good. Ning Fan's tone sharpened with excitement. Confirm with Feijia. Feng Yu's direction matches, right? Huizi checked. Qiao Fei confirmed. All right. Ning Fan's words came fast. Wait for my signal. Ning Fan hung up the phone and sprinted through the night. After 20 minutes of relentless running, he stopped atop a small hill. He scanned the surroundings, confirmed the terrain, then crouched in the shadows. Broken sword in hand, he steadied his breathing. At that moment, he was like a serpent coiled in the dark, ready to strike with lethal precision. Time crawled. He remained motionless, merging with the night itself. By his calculations, it should be soon. From all the intelligence he had gathered, Zhou Liang was most likely coming here. Qiao Fei had spotted the team Feng Yu was tailing. For men. All close combat fighters. That was probably why Zhou Liang had chosen them as prey. Here no one could guarantee which team they could devour whole. A seasoned hunter knew how to pick the most suitable quarry. If Zhou Liang judged this team as his target, he would exploit his advantage. Qiao Fei's report said they had set out on foot. That meant they wouldn't go far. And their direction led straight to the hunting grounds. Ning Fan had scouted this path before during his ambush on the 6th Division. This hill was the perfect vantage point. If he were Zhou Liang, he would choose this spot too. Of course, it was only a guess. He couldn't be certain. If Zhou didn't come, then he would wait for another chance. This hunt could not afford a single mistake. Ning Fan could not afford to lose. Thump, thump, thump. In the dead silence, he could hear his own heartbeat. Hand pressed to his chest, eyes closed, he exhaled softly. Then footsteps. Ning Fan's eyes snapped open, fixed on the path up the hill. A figure emerged. Zhou Liang. He carried a longbow. At the summit, Zhou glanced around casually, then chose the best ambush spot. He sat cross-legged, pulled out his phone. I'm in position. Good. Time to move. Be careful. Don't get sloppy. Let Haibao and Xiao Yu strike. I'll cover from range. Wei Wei protects you. Tell Xiao Yu to brighten the blue flame. Otherwise I can't see. Ning Fan could faintly hear his words. Below, noises stirred. His grip on the broken sword tightened. One chance. If he missed, Zhou would pull away and Ning Fan would be at a disadvantage. He crept from the shadows, silent as death. 50 meters. At this distance he had 80% confidence. But just as he prepared to strike. All right. Stay sharp. Zhou ended the call, raised his bow and spun around. Ning Fan crouched low, ready to lunge. But Zhou wasted no time. His bow shrieked. Spirit companion, falcon. The sudden attack caught Ning Fan off guard. He had erased all traces on the way up. Even with scouting experience, Zhou shouldn't have detected him. He had made no sound. And his sword was no spirit companion, no aura to betray him. So why? No time to think. A blazing white arrow streaked toward his brow. Fortunately, Ning Fan's focus never wavered. Dodging arrows was new. But dodging blades he had done countless times. Sword Wuchou's strikes were no slower than falcons. He twisted aside. The arrow grazed his shoulder, spraying blood. He rolled across the ground. Another arrow hissed toward him. Clang. He pushed off the earth, springing away. Falcon slammed into the dirt, spraying mud. Zhou said nothing. His intent was clear. I want your life. The distance remained in Zhou's favor. Closing in was nearly impossible. His combat experience was vast. He knew his weakness. Every arrow was meant to delay, to keep Ning Fan at bay. Ning Fan dodged again, then darted into deeper shadow. Another arrow flew. This one missed, he sidestepped easily. Zhou's eyes narrowed. He didn't pursue. Instead he spoke into the still open phone. There's someone behind you. Down below. Sun Yingying ended the call, face grim. Wei Wei. Release the dead ghost. Su Wei. Spirit companion. Dead ghost. 10 souls tear. He nodded, drew a 30-centimeter spike from his sleeve and drove it into the ground. The air chilled instantly. The lifeless wilderness grew even more rotten. Within 10 meters, dead trees decayed from the roots, bark peeling away in sheets. Elsewhere, Feng Yu and Lu Haiba had already engaged the prey. When they saw Su Wei summon his spirit, they didn't need Yingying's warning. They knew something was wrong. Their coordination was terrifyingly sharp. Feng Yu and Haiba exchanged a glance. Their easy smiles vanished, replaced by cold resolve. The 4 men they hunted had been holding their ground. But then Feng Yu's massive blade flared with light. Spirit companion. Moon slash. W. His opponent was 3 meters away. But the blade's aura roared like a storm, making defense meaningless. The man raised his staff to block. The aura split it in two. Flash. Blood mist filled the air. Shock filled his eyes. A crimson line carved down his forehead, nose, lips, jaw, throat, chest. All the way down. Thud. He collapsed. Feng Yu didn't even glance at him. His killing intent locked onto the next target. Meanwhile, 100 meters away, Qiao Fei answered Ningfan's call. Yingying's spirit is on Zhou Liang. 20 seconds. De Ben fires 2 shots. Reduce their numbers if possible. You and Huizi ambush at the mountain road. Wait 1 minute. If Zhou doesn't appear, withdraw. Don't get too close. Beware Su Wei's dead ghost. Ningfan ran at full speed. Just moments ago, Zhou Liang had suddenly turned his head, like he had eyes in the back of it. Ghost eye could cling to dead objects. Clothing was a dead object. Zhou Liang's ranged attacks were powerful, but his weakness was obvious. He feared close combat. So when he split from the main group, Sun Yingying had attached Ghost Eye to his clothes. He was guarding him. Realizing this, Ningfan immediately ordered Qiao Fei's side to move. With Ghost Eye fixed on Zhou Liang, it meant Yingying had no eyes elsewhere. Ningfan didn't know the depth of their bonds, but Zhou was the captain. To ensure his safety, Yingying wouldn't pull Ghost Eye back the moment she realized he was under attack. 20 seconds. That was the buffer. What could be done in those 20 seconds depended on Su Ben. And if Zhou descended the hill, he wouldn't stroll leisurely as he had climbed. 1 minute should be enough. Qiao Fei and Huizi would wait 1 minute at the road below. If they caught him, it would be a prize. If not, they would retreat. But beyond a minute, Feng Yu and Lu Haiba might finish their fight and rush to reinforce. Ningfan ran, mind racing through every possibility. His bottom line, no losses on his side. Even if they failed to reduce the enemy's numbers, they could wait for another chance. Failure would make the next attempt harder, but as long as they lived, there would be opportunities. Patience was everything. Boom. A thunderous blast shook the air nearby. Su Ben's heavy cannon. Boom. Another strike. Time to go. Ningfan silently urged Su Ben to withdraw. His greatest fear was Su Ben losing control. Beyond 20 seconds, the situation would turn dire. Thankfully, no third blast came. Ningfan knew Su Ben had pulled back. Wei Wei. Sun Yingying's eyes burned red as she saw blood streaming down Su Wei's arm. He remained expressionless, clutching the wound with his other hand. It's fine. Won't kill me. His voice was low. The enemy is strong. He knew it too. Their strike had been decisive. The moment she warned Zhou of the ambush, her own side was attacked. Her instincts had been right. And just as Zhou had said, the enemy knew their abilities well. From the moment they left the district, her ghost eye had detected nothing behind them. That meant the enemy had shadowed them at exactly 100 meters, the limit of her range. How else could they have kept that distance unless they understood her ability completely? And Su Wei's dead ghost specialized in crippling close combat. step into its range and strength would collapse. So the enemy hadn't closed in. They had chosen long-range, sweeping attacks instead. Patient. Not seeking a single fatal strike, but hunting like seasoned predators. Cunning, patient. Such opponents were hard to deal with. How's Brother Yang? Meanwhile, Feng Yu and Lu Haibao, worried about Zhou and Yingying, had unleashed their full strength, cutting down their prey. Haibao stuffed the 4 wristbands into his pack. No idea. I've recalled Ghost Eye. Even so, Yingying trusted Zhou's skill. Once aware of the enemy, he knew how to evade and counter. I'll check. Haibao scowled, charging toward the hill. Wait. She tried to stop him. But he ignored her. Xiao Yu. Watch Wei Wei and Yingying. Damn it. She cursed furiously. Relax. Haibao's reckless, but he can take care of himself. Feng Yu tried to reassure her. But Yingying's unease only deepened. His words revealed the real problem. They were too used to being hunters. Zhou ambushed. Wei Wei wounded. These setbacks weren't unacceptable to them. By strict measure, they had lost nothing. In hunting, taking a hit was normal. But the problem was, they hadn't taken a hit in far too long. Half a minute later, Ning Fan had descended the hill, weaving through the forest. They had agreed on a rally point beforehand. Su Ben had withdrawn. Qiao Fei and Huizi should be close to retreating too. Whether they had caught Zhou, Ning Fan didn't know. If they had, perfect. If not, he trusted them to follow orders and pull back. For now, Ning Fan's shoulder was bleeding. The enemy's losses remained unclear. As he sprinted, sudden footsteps echoed nearby. Fast, urgent. Who? He froze, ducking behind a tree. The footsteps slowed. The other had heard him too. Neither could see the other, but both knew they were there. Ning Fan's face was calm, mind analyzing. One person. Not Qiao Fei or Huizi. Not Su Ben. He would take another route to the rally point. That meant, not one of his own. Zhou Liang sighed. But Zhou was too cautious to make such noise. Wei Wei was bound to Yingying. That left Lu Haibao or Feng Yu. If it was only one. Ning Fan tightened his grip on the broken sword. In the next instant, he burst from behind the tree like a phantom. He saw him. Lu Haibao. Spirit companion. Blue flame. Haibao saw Ning Fan charging and instantly summoned his spirit. Blue fire armor engulfed his body, leaving only his eyes exposed. Ning Fan knew his ability. He wasn't acting on impulse. Zhou was occupied, either wounded by Qiao Fei and Huizi, or delaying his descent. Either way, Zhou couldn't support Haibao. The others? Ying was support. Wei Wei was defensive. Feng Yu was close combat. The only risk now was speed. Could Ning Fan finish Haibao fast enough? Motherfucker. Some short-lived bastard really dared tail us. Haibao snarled, eyes twisted with rage. His fist, blazing blue, slammed toward Ning Fan's face. Would you like me to refine this into a publish-ready thriller chapter draft, tightening the pacing and atmosphere even further, or keep it as a faithful translation? Aiba's corpse. As Feng Yu had always said, with blue flame armor, Haibao was like an iron tortoise. But now his only fatal wound was the right eye pierced clean through. That was how Lu Haibao died. The eyes, his weakest point once the spirit armor was released. He had always trusted his blue flame. But this time, what a precise strike, Su Wei murmured. That idiot. We told you not to chase. Sun Yingying knelt beside the body, glaring at him through tears. When the hell will you ever use your brain? Zhou Liang's gaze was dark as stagnant water. He had suspected Haibao might be ambushed if he ran ahead. But he hadn't expected him to be killed so quickly. Now doubt gnawed at him. Was it his own caution that had cost Haibao his life? If he had gone down sooner, maybe he could have joined the fight. If after regrouping he had rushed to support instead of hesitating. But regret was useless now. Brother Yang. Feng Yu shot to his feet, eyes blazing red, staring at Zhou. Of all the team, he had been closest to Haibao. Together they had always led the charge. Their bond was absolute. Now Haibao was gone. The man who had always stood back to back with him was gone. I know. Zhou's fury was no less than Feng Yu's. I saw the killer's face. He looked at Feng Yu silent for a long moment, then turned to Yingying. Stay alert. First we bury Haibao. She nodded. Feng Yu snarled, Brother Yang. I said I know. Zhou roared at him. Calm the hell down. My rage is no less than yours, but I have to think of the rest of you. Feng Yu's breath came ragged, but Zhou's authority held. They buried Haibao in silence. Then Zhou led them back to the hilltop, ordering Yingying to place Ghost Eye at the foot of the mountain. Wei Wei, how were you hurt? Once secure, Zhou asked quietly. Blast, Su Wei replied. Sun Feifei explained what had happened. After Zhou warned her someone was tailing them, Wei Wei had released Dead Ghost immediately. But the enemy's ranged attack was wide and devastating. Dead Ghost had little effect. And when Zhou heard they had fired exactly 2 shots and stopped, his frown deepened. The timing was perfect. His voice was low. The one who tried to assassinate me was young. But his eyes, not a novice's. The one who blasted Wei Wei was their ranged fighter. The boy who came for me was the assassin. They know our strengths. They must have had our data beforehand. They knew we were 5. They knew our setup was balanced. To strike us, they wouldn't come with just 2. If they had numbers, knowing I was captain, they'd send more than 1 after me. So I estimate 4 to 6 in their team. Only 2 have shown themselves. The others, likely 1 or 2, were waiting at the foot of the mountain, ready to catch me off guard. Their moves were decisive. Experienced hunters. Their goal isn't to wipe us out in 1 strike, but to wear us down piece by piece. Haibao's death was probably an accident. They couldn't have predicted he'd break off alone. But when he did, they seized the chance instantly. They knew the rest of us couldn't reach him in time. They are patient. And when opportunity comes, they strike without hesitation. We cannot afford mistakes. Before we even left the district, they had prepared thoroughly. They knew every possibility. Even our target. Yingying, your instincts were right. We've been watched all along. They avoided Ghost Eye, saw everything we did. So from now on, I have only one demand. Zhou's face was cold. Forget we're some so-called ace squad. Treat them as equals. Anyone who screws up out of impulse deserves to die. He shot a glare at Feng Yu. Feng Yu stayed silent. His rage had cooled. Haibao's death had burned him alive inside. But Zhou's words struck home. Haibao had died because of recklessness. If Feng Yu lost control too, he wouldn't avenge him, he'd only join him. And drag the team down with him. Brother, what do we do now? Yingying frowned. If they don't show themselves, we can't find them. They'll come. Zhou's reply was swift. We're prey now. And seasoned hunters never let their chosen prey go. Ning Fan, if Zhou Liang's team returns to F70, we'll be in trouble, Qiao Fei said, brows furrowed. They had already shared their accounts. Su Ben confirmed Wei Wei was injured, though he didn't know how badly. Qiao Fei and Huizi hadn't seen Zhou at the mountain's foot. Ning Fan described briefly how he had driven his blade through Haibao's eye. By results, their first strike had been a gain. They won't go back. Ning Fan's voice was low. Their pride as an ace squad won't let them. After this clash, they'll respect our strength. But that pride, they can't shed it overnight. Think about it. They lost their prey. The spoils are with me. That means their hunt failed. I killed one. Su Ben wounded another. If they return to F70 now, what will people say? Zhou Liang's team fell. Slunk back in disgrace. Ace squads carry prestige. They enjoy privileges. But that same prestige shackles them. To the district guard, we're all pawns. If Zhou disgraces the 9th squad, they won't ask why. They won't pity them for losing a man. They'll only think. Ning Fan lifted his head, each word sharp as steel. They're weak. Brother Yang, where are you? Sun Yingying dialed Zhou Liang's number. His voice came back hoarse, laced with a chill he couldn't hide. Halfway up the mountain. I didn't go down, afraid someone's lying in wait below. We're here already. No one around. All right. The two sides quickly regrouped. Zhou's eyes narrowed when he saw his companions. Wei Wei's hurt. It's nothing serious, Su Wei replied flatly. Zhou exhaled in relief, but his gaze sharpened again. Where's Haibo? Sun Yingying snapped. That idiot chased after someone. Damn it. Zhou's voice thundered. And you didn't stop him? I tried. Couldn't. Yingying's brows knotted, worry flickering in her eyes. You know his temper. You pretend to be brainless, he actually is. Relax, Brother Yang, Feng Yu said with a careless wave. Haibo's spirit armor is tough as hell. Even if he can't win, he can run. But Zhou didn't relax. Which way did he go? Feng Yu realized Zhou was truly alarmed and dropped the jokes, pointing. That way. Zhou almost ordered a pursuit but forced himself to calm down. If they all chased blindly, their advantage would vanish. He was ranged, his strength lay in distance. With the team clustered, his ability was wasted. Yingying's ghost eye would be useless. Wei Wei's dead ghost couldn't anchor them. Only Feng Yu would fight at full strength. If the enemy had already taken Haibo and set an ambush, they'd walk straight into the trap. Zhou clenched his fists, fury burning in his chest. Part of him worried for Haibo. But as captain he couldn't show panic. His emotions would ripple through the team. And if he let his impatience rule, the losses could be worse. Advance slowly, he ordered after a pause. No chaos. Stick to the rhythm. Yingying nodded, reattaching Ghost Eye to Zhou's body before leading the way. The rhythm was simple. Feng Yu scouting ahead step by step. Zhou trailing 100 meters behind, covering the rear. Just as they prepared to move, Zhou called out again. Stay sharp. Any team bold enough to target us is either reckless or seasoned hunters. Wild Dog's Den had set their rally point in a hollow near F-70 district. Where's Ning Fan? When Qiao Fei and Huizi arrived, only Su Ben was there. Gone was his usual swagger. His brow was furrowed deep. Seeing only the two return, his frown darkened further. Qiao Fei and Huizi's faces were grim as well. By plan, they were to ambush at the foot of the mountain. Su Ben would strike Yingying's side. Ning Fan should have been the first back. But now 3 had regrouped. Ning Fan was still missing. I'll find him. Huizi turned to leave. Qiao Fei caught his arm. What's this? He growled. Wait. Wait. And if Ning Fan's dead? She said nothing. Huizi shook her off. I'm not blaming you. Ning Fan told us, if he doesn't return, don't go looking. You're right. But I can't sit here. He strode out of the hollow. Qiao Fei hesitated only half a heartbeat before following. Su Ben said nothing, trailing after them. They had barely stepped outside when a blue flame appeared in the distance, racing toward them. All 3 tensed. Su Ben raised his massive crossbow, ready to unleash his cannon at the first sign of an enemy. It's Ning Fan. Qiao Fei's eyes lit up. She rushed forward. Huizi exhaled long and hard. Inside. Ning Fan's voice rasped as he saw them. They obeyed, retreating into the hollow. You're hurt. Qiao Fei's gaze flickered. Ning Fan leaned against the wall. Blue fire still burned across his chest, the stench of scorched flesh rising from him. Give me ghost lizard blood. He spoke to Huizi. Huizi blinked, then quickly pulled a brown vial from his pack. Ning Fan uncorked it and poured the liquid over the flames. Hiss. The sound was sharp. Ning Fan clenched his teeth, face flushed, veins bulging at his neck. But he didn't make a sound. Ghost lizard blood. Bought from the 2nd floor of the Points Plaza. 2 points a bottle. It was known to suppress fire. They had purchased it knowing Haibo's spirit was blue flame. Expensive but necessary. Ning Fan had prepared one bottle, giving it to Huizi. Fire always cast shadows, Huizi's domain. But his chance encounter with Haiba had been outside the plan. Still weighing the odds, Ning Fan had seized the opportunity. At last the flames died. The vial was empty. His chest was charred black, flesh cracked and bleeding, clothes burned to ash. "Give me a moment." He waved off their questions, stuffing painkillers and coagulants into his mouth. Who? He leaned against the wall, gasping. 10 minutes passed before his breathing steadied, the bleeding slowed. "This stuff's useless now." He finally spoke, holding up the empty vial. "Lu Haiba is dead." Their eyes widened. They had guessed from the flames that Ning Fan had clashed with him. But hearing it confirmed sent a jolt through them. And they noticed, Ning Fan carried 2 packs. One was his. The other, Haiba's. Ning Fan opened it. Inside light glimmered. 5 wristbands. 1 purple. 4 yellow. The group fell silent. Even Ning Fan felt the same chill, like foxes mourning the death of a rabbit. As he had said, whether it was them or Zhou Liang, they were all pawns. Of course, the feeling passed quickly. There was no personal grudge between the two sides, not even familiarity. But Zhou Liang's team had risen to ace status. How many corpses had they stepped over to get there? Here, hatred was never the only reason to draw a blade. As long as Yang Kickoff ruled F70 district, this place would remain a stage for endless, near-mad slaughter. Neither Ning Fan nor Zhou Liang had any choice, until they had the capital to stand on equal ground with Yang Kickoff. "And another reason Zhou won't return to the district," Ning Fan continued, his mind sharp again, "is that he fears we'll ambush them at the entrance. Feijia, you and Huizi didn't catch him at the foot of the mountain. That proves how cautious he is. He probably guessed I'd place people there. So before his team regrouped, even though I was wounded, he didn't chase me down. He could abandon the kill in a heartbeat, choosing the safest way to preserve strength. Partly caution, partly confidence, because even if he let me go, he believed he'd have another chance to strike later. But he didn't expect Lu Haiba to die." Ning Fan's eyes gleamed. "That changes everything." Huizi frowned. "But losing Haiba still leaves them 4 strong. Feng used their spear, Yingying's their eyes, Weiwei anchors defense. To most, Haiba seemed the least critical member. Feng Yu attacked. Zhou struck from range. Yingying scouted. Weiwei defended. Haiba's role was always vague. "He was vital," Ning Fan said firmly. "I only realized it after crossing blades with him." The others waited for his explanation. On the hill I overheard Zhou's call. He told Yingying to tell Haiba, brighten the blue flame. At the time I didn't think much. But when I fought Haiba I understood. Once Zhou took his ranged position, Haiba would mark enemies with blue flame. That light helped Zhou lock his targets. The group froze. They had never considered blue flame in that way. Even earlier, when Ning Fan returned, they had first seen a blue glow before recognizing him. But they hadn't realized the deeper purpose. "Strictly speaking," Ning Fan continued, "Zhou has 2 eyes. One is Yingying. The other, Haiba. Our first instinct was to eliminate Yingying's ghost eye. She's the obvious scout. Everyone thinks of her first and overlooks Haiba. But in battle Haiba was the one who truly empowered Zhou. Yingying's spirit seemed impressive, but in reality, it was limited. She couldn't directly aid his attacks. She was only his eye from behind. Their team is well balanced. But it carries a fatal flaw. They revolve too much around Zhou." Ning Fan's voice slowed. "Every loss cripples Zhou's ability. Each death cuts his strength like a severed limb." The others said nothing. They all thought the same thing now. Let Ning Fan do the thinking. "And one more thing," Ning Fan added. "Zhou's vision range isn't far. No more than 100 meters. Otherwise he wouldn't need Haiba's blue flame to mark targets. So we don't need to keep too much distance. As long as we stay outside Ghost Eye's reach, we won't be spotted. Have you realized something? On the mountain Zhou Liang was analyzing too. The enemy knows we have Ghost Eye. They likely know its range. Yet they still shadow us perfectly. Ying frowned. Could their vision be farther than my Ghost Eye's 100 meters? Zhou's face was grim. Two other possibilities. First, their team has a master scout tracking us by the traces we leave. But I doubt it. No matter how skilled, they couldn't judge distance so precisely. They might follow our trail but not stay exactly outside Ghost Eye's reach. As for your theory, Ying, I don't buy it either. Gone was his usual careless tone. No one interrupted. If their vision exceeded 100 meters and they knew Ghost Eye's limits, they wouldn't skulk behind us. They'd use that advantage to circle ahead. They could watch us from the front while we wouldn't even see them yet. Ying sucked in a sharp breath. He realized it. Her Ghost Eye was always placed along the path, recalled and reset once it neared its limit. Her so-called vision advantage was behind them. Ahead they were blind. If the enemy had superior range, they could wait in front. They would see everything, while Zhou's team saw nothing. The difference was deadly. Brother, then you mean? I leaned toward the last possibility. Zhou's eyes darkened. He tapped his nose. Smell. Sun Ying fell silent. If that was the case, then everything that had happened before suddenly made sense. Feng Yu asked, so that means the enemy already knows exactly where we are? Zhou Liang explained in a low voice. When we found Haiba's body, there were still traces of blue flame on the ground, mixed with the smell of blood. That's why I suspect the one who fought Haiba was injured too. And as I said before, Haiba's death was unexpected, which means at that moment they hadn't regrouped. If I'm right, their commander has already accepted that their raw strength is beneath ours. So every strike they make isn't meant to destroy us outright, only to take small advantages. The assassin who came for me missed once and fled. Their ranged fighter fired 2 arrows, then retreated. Every move shows they've placed themselves in the weaker position. So after killing Haiba, their first action must have been to regroup and plan their next step. Only once they had a new plan would they use scent to track us. Feng Yu frowned. Brother Yang, even if they find us, so what? Ying's Ghost Eye is already set at the foot of the mountain. If they want to come up, they'll have to pass that way. We just wait here. If they dare, I'll strike first. Zhou Liang stared at him for a long moment. But Ying gave the answer. The danger is, if they don't come up. Feng Yu froze. She continued, Brother Yang said it himself. The enemy prepared thoroughly. That includes food. Feng Yu understood. They had only packed enough rations for a single day, never planning to linger in the wild. But the enemy might have prepared for a week, or longer. If their tracker confirmed Zhou's team was on the mountain, they could simply wait. Let them consume their food until it was gone. And if needed, the enemy could send one man back to the district for resupply. The enemy wouldn't climb. And Zhou's team wouldn't dare descend. A trapped beast fight. Feng Yu's brows knotted tight. He couldn't see a way out. Stay on the mountain and they'd starve. Go down and risk ambush. The thought of being forced into such a passive position was unbearable. It had been a long time since he'd felt this powerless. Zhou Liang lowered his head, thinking for a long time. Then his eyes narrowed, sweeping the group with a cold gleam. I need you to gamble with me. On what? Feng Yu asked darkly. Zhou looked toward the valley. On my guess being right, that scent is their only way of tracking us. If that's true, then I can mislead them. Feng Yu's eyes sharpened. You can mislead them? Then what are we waiting for? Xiao Yu. Zhou's voice was heavy. Everything I've said is only a guess. If I'm right, we may have a chance to turn this around. But if I'm wrong... His gaze swept them all. None of yous may live. Ning Fan, should I try to find their position now? Huizi looked at Ning Fan's pale face, concern in his eyes. Rest. Just tell us what to do. No rush, Huizi. Ning Fan waved him off, then turned to Su Ben. De Ben, find a good spot to ambush. Just keep watch on F-70's gate. Make sure they don't return to the district. Didn't you say they wouldn't go back? Su Ben asked. Ning Fan nodded. That's what I believe. But nothing is certain. Better to be safe. All right. Su Ben slung his pack, hefted his massive crossbow and left. Once he was gone, Ning Fan continued. By now they've likely found Haiba's body. That's a heavy blow. From this moment they'll take us seriously. They'll feel our threat. They'll start analyzing how we tracked them. Which means, Huizi, your ability may already be suspected. The sense you pick up next may not be real. He coughed twice weakly. Xiao Fei frowned with concern. Ning Fan, rest. I'm fine, Feijia. He waved her off. If possible, Ning Fan didn't want to give the enemy too much time. Right now his team held the advantage of information. The enemy knew little about them. That was their edge. But if given time to study their abilities, the fight would only grow harder. Still, Ning Fan knew his wounds were severe. Forcing action now would only invite mistakes. Ning Fan, if even my nose can't find them, how do we track them? Huizi asked. They had killed Haiba, yes. But the advantage wasn't yet decisive. Ning Fan thought long and hard. A quick strike was impossible. Another path was needed. Wait. Wait. For what? Wait for them to falter. Ning Fan's eyes hardened. In our state we can't deny them breathing room. So we choose another path, attrition. We're well supplied. And for now we're hidden. That alone will weigh on them. At first they'll stay sharp. But time wears down vigilance. No one can stay tense forever. And they don't have much food. Their only option will be to steal from others. But while they hunt prey, they'll know their prey too. Even if we don't shadow them, they'll feel watched. That pressure. Ning Fan's lips cracked into a dry smile. Huizi, you know it well. Huizi blinked, then gave a bitter laugh. Yeah. I know. Kid, you really did torment me back then. Back in F-32 district, Ning Fan had used this same tactic, mental attrition, to torment Huizi for nearly 4 days. And now, watching Ning Fan turn that method against others, Huizi couldn't deny it. He felt a grim satisfaction. Feijia, head back to F-70 for a while, Ning Fan told Xiao Fei. Spread the word that Lu Haiba is dead. Xiao Fei nodded. All right. When you return, we'll rotate guard here. 3 to 5 days should be enough for the news to spread across every hunting squad. Ning Fan's voice was low, deliberate. When a beast's fangs are sharp, everyone avoids its bite. But when those fangs are broken, scavengers gather. So long as we keep them from re-entering the district, by the time they realize they'd rather lose face than lose their lives, it'll already be too late. Once their retreat is cut off, the pressure will mount. Under that strain, they'll start making mistakes. And that's when our true hunt begins. 5 days later. Brother Yang, were you wrong? Feng Yu gnawed raw beast meat in the shadows, his face pale, dark rings around bloodshot eyes. He hadn't slept once in days. Though the team rotated watch, the crushing psychological weight made rest impossible. As Ning Fan had predicted, Zhou's squad was too used to being hunters. Being prey unsettled them. At first, everyone believed Zhou's caution was correct. They stayed sharp, waiting for the enemy to strike to reveal a flaw. But 5 days passed. No threat came. Instead, they themselves hunted 3 squads, gaining food and 11 wristbands. It was their best haul since entering F-70. Yet there was no joy. The cost was brutal. Feng Yu's left arm hung useless, his waist wound still bleeding through cloth. Su Wei's face, once pale, was now ghostly, his body little more than skin and bone. Even Sun Yingying limped with every step. Constant battles left them no time to prepare, no chance to choose prey carefully. Their fights grew desperate. Zhou Liang's beard was ragged, his eyes heavy with gloom. When Feng Yu asked the question, Zhou's heart clenched. His worst fear had come true. The team's spirit was breaking. From the start, Zhou had ordered them to mask their scent with mud, to descend early. Ying had carefully placed ghost eyes, waiting for the enemy to spring the trap. But 5 days passed. From confidence to unease, even Zhou himself now longed for the enemy to appear. Better a real fight, even defeat, than this endless dread of being bitten in the dark. The torment was unbearable. Worse, hunger forced them to hunt other squads recklessly. Zhou knew it only deepened their vulnerability. But without food, morale would collapse faster. And Haiba's death had crippled them. Zhou could no longer lurk in shadows, using blue flame to mark targets. His spirit had range, yes, but no way to strike unseen. Chaos. Everything was unraveling. Let's go back. Zhou's voice was hoarse. Stay out here longer and we'll break ourselves before they even strike. The others stared at him in disbelief. What did you say? Feng Yu's eyes burned red. Back? Back where? The district. Zhou's tone was low. Lingering is pointless. Back there we can regroup. In our state now. Back means disgrace. Feng Yu cut him off, snarling. Haiba's dead. Look at us. If we crawl back now, what are we? Stray dogs. Zhou said nothing. He understood Feng Yu. He felt the same. The pride of an ace squad weighed heavy. He had told them before, don't think of themselves as aces. Easy to say. Hard to do. If they had truly let go of pride, they would have returned the moment Haiba fell, to uncover their enemy's identity. But who bows their head in glory? This was human nature. Even now, Zhou's words of retreat filled them with shame. When they had left the district, they were laughing, carefree. That was the ease of an ace squad. Most teams were nothing but prey to them. But now, as long as we live, we can reclaim our honor. Zhou's voice hardened. Xiao Yu will avenge this loss. I promise. Feng Yu's chest heaved, blood seeping from his wound. Ying sighed. Xiao Yu, listen to Brother Yang. He's suffering more than any of us. Feng Yu clenched his teeth, silent for a long time. Brother Yang, we must avenge Haiba. I won't forget. Fine. If you say return, we return. Though bitterness burned in him, Zhou's authority held. A mature team might argue, but they would not fracture. Once decided, Zhou warned, I can't be sure they aren't waiting outside the gate. If they show themselves, I'll cut them down. Feng Yu nearly exploded. You won't. Zhou gripped his shoulder, eyes cold. F-70 has light. If they appear, I'll shoot them through. They packed quickly, heading toward F-70. But as they neared, Ying suddenly stopped them. Wait. Like startled prey, they froze, weapons ready. What is it? Zhou asked cautiously. Her brows knotted tight. Something's wrong. What? Someone's watching us. Her face was pale, twisted. That feeling of being hunted, it's back. Zhou Liang's eyes hardened instantly. Sun Ying's intuition was sharp. And when she spoke, every spine tingled. That prickling sense of being watched grew stronger, heavier. Brother, could it be them? Ying asked. Zhou said nothing. He stood still, unmoving. Beside him, Feng Yu gripped his massive blade, face darkening. Brother Yang, are we still hiding? His voice rasped, thick with rage. Before Zhou could answer, a sound came from the forest ahead. Mud churning. All four turned. The muck ahead bulged, rising, until it shaped into a hulking figure more than 2.5 meters tall. Retreat. Zhou barked, decisive. Ying, leave a ghost eye. The others didn't hesitate. As the mud figure emerged, more shadows crept toward them. Feng Yu, though seething, stayed at the rear to cover them. That had once been Haiba's role. Now with Haiba dead, Feng Yu had to take his place. They fled through the trees. The mud figure lumbered slowly, never catching up. The shadows too held back, wary, not daring to press close. At last they reached deeper forest. Zhou slumped against a tree, his eyes dark as stagnant water. Breath ragged, he looked at his shaken companions. Brother Yang. Feng Yu, battered and weary, still burned with fury. I want to fight. Zhou lifted his gaze. Ying said nothing, head bowed, hands braced on her knees as she steadied her breath. Su Wei remained expressionless. Zhou could see it. They were done hiding. Heck, damn it. Zhou suddenly laughed. But his smile was bitter, self-mocking. A dragon stranded in shallow waters. Mocked by shrimp. Feng Yu frowned. What do you mean? Those weren't them. Them, Ning Fan's team. Not them. Then who? I don't know. But, Zhou's voice trembled with fury. Just vermin. Those who never dared look us in the eye before. Feng Yu understood. You mean, scavengers trying to pick our bones? Their style was different. Zhou narrowed his eyes. Too hasty. Ning Fan had always struck Zhou as cautious, sly, patient. Like a viper in the dark, waiting for the perfect moment to kill. But these figures, this mud giant, they were desperate. Like scavengers fighting over scraps. Afraid the meat would be stolen before they could bite. They must have spread word in the district already, that we've fallen. Zhou sneered. Those vermin heard it, saw we hadn't returned in 5-6 days and believed it. So, our enemies aren't just them anymore? Ying's face paled. Zhou nodded, staring toward F-70. We can't go back. The team stiffened. Too many want to climb over our corpses. Before they wouldn't dare. They had no chance. But now with us weakened, our aura has become a burden. They're like cats smelling blood, desperate to tear us apart. Silence fell. Even Feng Yu, who hated thinking, felt the weight of it. His knuckles whitened on his blade, rage burning inside, ready to explode. 5 days of humiliation. And now vermin dared to prey on them. He was ready to burst. 3 years. Zhou's gaze never left F-70. We've been here 3 years. From cautious beginnings to learning the rules to growing confident. We forgot this place is man eat man. Not just you. Even me, I grew arrogant. In the district, Ying told me she felt eyes on us. Her instincts are always right. We all knew it. But none of us cared. Even when they struck, proving we were targeted. I still didn't take them seriously. Even Haiba's death didn't wake me. If I'd chosen to return then regroup, they'd have had no chance. But we kept making mistakes. And they kept using them, dragging us deeper into the abyss. The other's eyes dimmed. As Captain, Zhou's words meant one thing. He had already seen the end. I won't accept it. Feng Yu growled. They hide like rats in the gutter. Losing to them, I refuse. Accept it? They want our wristbands, our fame, our weapons, our spirits, even our lives. Zhou laughed coldly. But they don't need our acceptance. Dead men don't get a choice. Feng Yu clenched his teeth. Xiao Yu, do me a favor. Zhou's smile faded. Feng Yu raised a brow. Zhou's eyes were torn, conflicted. But at last he bit down hard. Walk with me to the end. Feng Yu froze. So did Ying and Su Wei. Wei Wei. Zhou turned to him. Take Ying to Wind Pass. Su Wei said nothing. Ying panicked. Zhou Liang. What the hell do you mean? That. Su Wei's hand chopped the back of her neck. He turned stunned. Another strike. She collapsed. Su Wei caught her, then looked at Zhou. You're sure? We don't all die together? No. Zhou Liang gave a bitter smile. No need. He turned to Feng Yu. Xiao Yu, I can't hold them off alone for long. It's fine, brother. I'll stay with you. Feng Yu no longer looked so stifled. I'll take the front. As long as I stand, you can keep firing. Ha, good. Zhou laughed once, then looked at Su Wei. When she wakes, she'll want to come back. Keep her away. She'll hate you. I know. She loves you. I know. She'd die with you. I know. Zhou rose slowly, walked to the unconscious Sun Yingying, and gently brushed her short hair. But I won't let her. When you reach Wind Pass, find a reliable squad. With your abilities, many will want you. Forget revenge. It's pointless. We've killed so many, destroyed so many teams. We always knew this day would come. When we were hunters, we could be arrogant. But when we're prey, we must accept it. Living well is stronger than dying proud. Go. He waved them off. Su Wei gave him and Feng Yu a long, heavy look, then hoisted Yingying onto his back and ran toward the opposite direction of F-70. Watching them disappear, Zhou gripped his longbow and smiled at Feng Yu. Xiao Yu, today will show these vermin why we were aces. That day the forest outside F-70 was alive, like a grand feast. The lure of slaying an ace squad was too great. At first only 4 or 5 squads dared risk it, chasing fame. But soon more and more joined. They had realized Zhou's team had truly fallen. Once feared like monsters, now Zhou's squad was prey, meat for the hungry. Not going to watch? Huizi asked, driving, glancing at Ning Fan in the passenger seat. No. Too many. Step in now, we'd be swallowed. Ning Fan shook his head, face unreadable. As long as they're finished, that's enough. Before the first clash, Ning Fan had wanted their weapons. Zhou's Falcon, Feng Yu's Moonslash. One fit Su Ben, the other Qiao Fei. But after fighting them, he abandoned the thought. Head-on against Zhou was too uncertain. Keeping Wild Dog's Den intact mattered more. Zhou Liang was a man. Huizi sighed, glancing back. Qiao Fei and Su Ben sat silent. Between them lay 2 items. A long spike. A pair of gloves. Once Ning Fan confirmed others had moved against Zhou's team, he pulled his people out. He had Qiao Fei buy a car in the district, then drove to the road toward Wind Pass. If Zhou chose to die fighting, Ning Fan could accept it. His pact with Medjitov was simple. Break the 9th Squad's ace team. How didn't matter. If Zhou tried to flee to Wind Pass, Ning Fan would block the path. And indeed someone came. But not Zhou. It was Yingying and Su Wei. Ning Fan understood. Zhou and Feng Yu had chosen to die holding the line. When Su Wei fell, still driving his spike into the earth to keep dead Ghost alive, shielding Yingying, Ning Fan felt a flicker of respect. But it only hardened his resolve to kill them. Because he would never let such a scene happen to Wild Dog's Den. He had learned, empathy for enemies only brings ruin back on yourself. Finally, the car reached F-70's gates. And to their surprise, the district guard was waiting. Medjitov himself with the 3rd Squad stood at the gate. Ning Fan, what's going on? Huizi muttered uneasily. Ning Fan narrowed his eyes, thinking. Medjitov wants to use this to expand his influence. What do you mean? He knows Zhou's team is finished. But with so many scavenger squads piling in, he's nervous. Ning Fan's voice dropped. He needs everyone to believe. The ones who killed Zhou's team were the 3rd Squad. When Medjitov saw Ning Fan in the car, his face lit with a smile. Haha. Look who's back. He strode forward. Huizi stopped the car. Other squads of the district guard turned to watch, curious. Most still didn't know who had truly broken Zhou's team. But Medjitov's performance made it clear, he meant to claim the credit. Mr. Medjitov. Ning Fan stepped out, smiling faintly. So courteous, meeting us at the gate? For those with skill, I always show respect. Medjitov looked delighted. Seeing Ning Fan wounded, he feigned concern. Are the injuries bad? I can manage. Ning Fan knew what he wanted. He had Huizi bring out the 2 items. Su Wei's spike. Yingying's gloves. Medjitov's eyes gleamed. But he feigned ignorance. What's this? Dead Ghost and Ghost Eye. What? Those are the spirits of the 9th Squad's ace members. Medjitov exclaimed loudly. His acting was clumsy. Ning Fan only smiled. Yes. Excellent. Medjetov's voice rang out, exaggerated. A week ago you told me you could break them. I didn't believe it. But your performance exceeded all expectations. You've only just joined the 3rd squad and already you've destroyed the 9th squad's ace team. Remarkable. Ning Fan could feel the 9th squad's cold stares. Their captain's face was iron. Medjetov was deliberate. He needed everyone to know. The 3rd squad with its newest unit had crushed the 9th squad's pride. Whether Ning Fan's team survived the fallout didn't matter. If they endured, Medjetov gained stronger pawns. If they burned, so be it. They weren't his ace squad anyway. From his perspective it was win-win. After the polite exchanges at the gate, once Medjetov was sure he had made his point clear, he led everyone back to the district guard's headquarters. Inside the office, Ning Fan once again sat across from Medjetov. But this time Medjetov didn't lounge carelessly as before. Just as Ning Fan had predicted, Medjetov now treated him as something closer to an equal, a partner. He had acknowledged Ning Fan's value. I admit I didn't think you could really pull it off, Medjetov said, his smile impossible to hide. Today he was basking in triumph. The rivalry between the 3rd squad and the 9th squad had dragged on for years, with victories traded back and forth. But never had either side won so decisively. A newly recruited team had destroyed the enemy's ace squad. That achievement alone was enough for Medjetov to boast about for a year. And even if Ning Fan's group were later eliminated, the 9th squad's shame would remain. After all, Ning Fan's team wasn't even an ace squad. No matter. It's not too late to start fresh, Ning Fan said with a smile. Pretty words mean little. A big score, that's what counts. Haha. Young man, you please me greatly. I'm almost glad I didn't kill you in a fit of rage over Lu the Blind's death. Mr. Medjetov, you're scolding me again, Ning Fan shrugged. I understand. No matter how much I prove myself, I'll never escape your control, right? That's not what I meant. You're overthinking, boy. Medjetov denied quickly. Smart men always twist words, always suspect too much. Let's hope it's just me misunderstanding, Ning Fan said lightly, pulling his pack closer. Mr. Medjetov, my team's been running non-stop these past days. We need rest. Why don't we tally up the points first? Of course. My excitement got the better of me. Show me, let's see what you've gained. Ning Fan began unloading the pack. At first Medjetov smiled easily. But as the pile grew, his smile stiffened. Ning Fan kept pulling out wristbands. The table filled with colors. 3 purple bands, from Lu Haibo Sun Yingying Su Wei. 4 yellow bands from Zhou Liang's prey. And 11 more, taken in hunts for food. 18 in total. So many. Medjetov's composure faltered. Ning Fan said earnestly, most were hunted by them. We only killed 3 ourselves. Young man, you don't need to be so honest. If you claimed most were won by your own strength, I'd rate you even higher, Medjetov said, raising a brow. But Ning Fan only smiled and waved it off. No need. Dressing up our strength with lies only makes us more vulnerable. The truth of his words was plain. Just look at Chi Huan's downfall. You're interesting, boy, Medjetov chuckled, setting aside the 4 yellow bands. These don't count. Bands from one's own squad never counted. Mr. Medjetov, I've always wondered, Ning Fan said calmly. If I take these bands to the points plaza, can I use the points inside? Of course not. Lord Yang Kickoff would never leave such a loophole, Medjetov waved dismissively. As for how the system distinguishes ownership, that's a technical matter I can't disclose. Ning Fan's face didn't change. But inwardly one word echoed. Boundary. When Shuyuan had said it before, the G district's core technology was the boundary. Medjetov's necklace, the darkness of the hunting grounds, all tied to it. And the wristbands too. All right, Ning Fan said, pocketing the 4 yellow bands. Medjetov blinked. What do you mean? Since they can't be exchanged for points, I can trade them with other squads, right? Ning Fan smiled. Hard-earned spoils worth nothing here. It feels like a waste. Medjitov was stunned. This kid actually said it outright. Other squads had seized third squad's yellow bands before. Some had traded them in secret. Some had grumbled about the unfairness. But none had dared say it to Medjitov's face. Yet Ning Fan had. And when Medjitov saw that calm, gentle smile, he understood. A team strong enough to kill an ace squad needed brains. Ning Fan had them. He must have already suspected the yellow bands were worthless. The sensible move would have been to hide them, not lay them out in front of Medjitov. But Ning Fan had done it deliberately. To send a message. He was showing his displeasure at the stunt Medjitov had pulled at the gate, parading him, painting a target on his back, drawing the ninth squad's hatred. If it had been anyone else, Medjitov would have thrown them out, or worse, taught them a bloody lesson. But Ning Fan, he couldn't. Barely half an hour ago, Medjitov had praised him before everyone. Declared him the third squad's greatest hero. Their pride. If he punished Ning Fan now over something so small, the third squad's reputation would rot. A newcomer had just won them glory by destroying their rival's ace squad. And Medjitov would betray him immediately? The ninth squad would seize on it, spread it far and wide. Who would ever join the third squad then? Who would serve a dog like Medjitov? Medjitov narrowed his eyes. He realized the truth. The young man before him was sending a clear message. I risked my life to win glory for your squad. And you at the gate hung me out to dry, made me a target for the ninth squad's wrath. Am not pleased. Medjitov frowned. He realized a serious problem. At the gate he had indeed expanded his influence and humiliated the ninth squad. But at the same time he had handed Ning Fan a death exemption card. As long as Ning Fan didn't break the iron rules, Medjitov couldn't touch him. He reacted fast. Forget it. Medjitov waved casually. If you take my third squad's wristbands out to trade, people will laugh. Fine, I'll settle them as normal bands. Consider it a reward. Thank you, Mr. Medjitov. Ning Fan smiled again, handing back the 4 yellow wristbands. Ning Fan. Just as he was about to leave, Medjitov called out. Yes. When's your next hunt? Haven't decided yet. Ning Fan grinned. We've earned plenty of points. I'd like to rest first. Medjitov stared at him. Ning Fan added, we're not an ace squad. No high-performance quotas. Isn't that right, Mr. Medjitov? Yes, Medjitov chuckled. Rest well. Then tell me. Of course. Ning Fan waved and left. Moments later, the office erupted in the sound of smashing furniture. At home, Huizi burst out laughing. You brat, you never take a loss. He had been furious at Medjitov's stunt at the gate, but hadn't known how to vent it. Now, hearing Ning Fan recount their office exchange, he felt satisfied. Actually, I didn't just do it to spite him, Ning Fan said softly. I wanted to test his attitude. The 3 looked at him. Medjitov would never allow us to trade our own squad's wristbands. That much I'm sure of. Trading them to other squads would boost their performance. There are 13 squads competing harder than we thought. These captains are all G District men, constantly crossing paths. I assumed they'd at least keep up appearances. But today Medjitov strutted out and slapped the 9th squad in front of everyone. That means it's open war, not shadow games. So I provoked him deliberately, to see how he'd react. Ning Fan lowered his head, eyes narrowed in thought. We did earn merit for the 3rd squad, but not enough to make us untouchable. Our credit is big, but not that big. I expected him to scold me, maybe threaten me. My provocation wasn't fatal. His reaction shouldn't exceed what I could bear. But I didn't expect him to indulge me. The reason he swallowed it, I think, is first, he can't order the district guard to kill us outright. And second, he fears I might join another squad. Qiao Fei blinked. We can join another squad? I'm not certain. But no one's ever said we can't. Ning Fan's voice was calm. Hunting squads aren't formally organized. We're more like mercenaries. If that's the case, why not switch? The three fell silent. They had never considered it. At the gate, Medjitov claimed our victory loudly to boost his own face. But he also showed every squad our value. Now he realizes it. To him we're precious and dangerous. If we stay in the third squad, it benefits him. But if he makes me unhappy, I won't hesitate to change allegiance. Ning Fan tapped the table, voice dropping lower. When we're weak, we follow rules. When we gain strength, we test rules and use them. Now we must learn how to use F-70's rules to root ourselves here. And when we're strong enough, we'll break them. He pointed to the floor. We owe no loyalty to anyone. Whichever path maximizes our gain, that's the path we'll walk. And we'll walk it straight to Yang kickoff. The room fell silent. Ning Fan's words shook them deeply. Especially Huizi. He had thought Ning Fan was just venting. But now he saw, this boy never acted without purpose. Will Medjitov betray us? Huizi asked quietly. He will, Ning Fan nodded. But not yet. Medjitov's stunt had already made Ning Fan famous. If he schemed now and was exposed, the loss would be too great. Besides, Medjitov was conflicted. On one hand, Ning Fan was hard to control. On the other, he brought real profit. Ning Fan, we did kill G District men, Xiao Fei murmured. If he wants to move against us, he could use that as an excuse. Call in the guard to wipe us out. No, Ning Fan shook his head. It's already happened. Medjitov has accepted it. If he exposes it, we might die, but he'd suffer too. Our deaths bring him no gain. His interests matter most to him. He won't risk it. Xiao Fei fell silent. Ning Fan had thought through every angle. All they had to do now was follow his lead. So what do we do now? Huizi asked, abandoning thought. We have enough points to reach the third floor, Ning Fan said, pulling the pack closer. Huizi, I want to test something. See if Su Wei's dead ghost has synergy with your shadow. Dead ghost. Huizi instinctively rubbed his arm. Not long ago he had crossed blades with Su Wei. He had stepped into the domain of the dead ghost. Even now, his wrist still bore the mark of decay. Within that cursed range, Huizi had felt his body break free of time's rhythm, aging by the second. If Su Ben hadn't finished Su Wei with a heavy cannon blast, Huizi might truly have become an old man overnight. Su Wei had gripped his wrist once. Though Su Wei was dead, Huizi's body had recovered, except for that wrist, still scarred by the dead ghost's favor. Of course, a 10-soul dead ghost carried its fatal flaw. Could not move. Its influence stretched only 10 meters. That was why Su Wei had spent most of his time shielding Sun Yingying. Huizi's own spirit required him to drive a dagger into an enemy's shadow. If during that strike the dead ghost's effect could be triggered, it would be a massive boost to Huizi's power. 8 points left before. Plus this times 540. Ning Fan lifted his wristband with a grin. We're rich now. Huizi felt a flicker of anticipation. After fusing with Wang Ye's links, his senses had sharpened, his nose keener than ever. The links hadn't meshed perfectly with his shadow ability. He suspected the fusion worked only because the knuckle duster had belonged to Wang Yi. In Wild Dog's Den, Huizi had always driven. Wang Yi had always sat beside him in the passenger seat. Thinking of Wang Yi stirred Huizi's emotions. Wild Dog's Den is strong now. Ning Fan has taken Brother Chuan's place. We'll carry you forward. We'll keep walking. What about the ghost eye? Su Ben's question cut through Huizi's reverie. Ghost eye doesn't suit any of us right now. Ever since Ning Fan had acquired Zhou Liang's team's data, he had analyzed which spirits could be useful. As he'd thought before, the most fitting were Zhou's Falcon and Feng Yu's Moonslash. But those weapons were out of reach. Ghost Eye, if used well, was a powerful reconnaissance spirit. but none of their current spirits could pair with it. Oh, one more thing. Ning Fan turned to Huizi. Find a chance to spread Zhou Liang's team's information. Huizi blinked. Huh. What's the point now? Perhaps once that intel had value. But now Zhou's team was gone. Why spread their data? To let everyone know we hold Ghost Eye, Ning Fan said coolly. Even if none of us can use it, we've been to the 3rd floor. Huizi understood instantly. Ghost Eye might be useless to them, but the rumor of possessing it would make others hesitate. At the gate, Ning Fan had already displayed Su Wei's spike and Sun Yingying's gloves. That news would spread. Add Huizi's leak, and soon everyone would wonder if Ning Fan's team had Ghost Eye's ability. Come on. Let's stroll the Points Plaza first. This time, stepping into the plaza, Ning Fan's group felt the change. Ice followed them. Many didn't know their names, but they knew the title. The newcomers who destroyed the 9th Squad's ace team. They hadn't changed much since their first visit. But now their stride carried the aura of strength. Ning Fan didn't linger on the 1st floor. He went straight to the 2nd. That alone drew envy. On the 2nd floor some recognized them. And when they saw Ning Fan's team head directly for the 3rd, they became the hottest topic in the lower levels. The 3rd floor, 500 points. A barrier most squads could never cross. Newcomers who had slain an ace squad, now climbing to the 3rd floor for spirit fusion. They would only grow stronger. Strength begets strength. On the 3rd floor, Ning Fan found the space nearly empty. A vast hall with only 7 or 8 scattered figures. He didn't ask about fusion prices. Instead, his gaze turned upward. The staircase, leading to the 4th floor. What lay beyond? What's required to reach the 4th floor? Ning Fan asked the guard at the stair. Black wristband, the guard replied simply. Ning Fan's eyes lit. As he had suspected, the black wristband marked the strongest hunters. Those close to breaking free of Yang Kickoff's control. So Yang Kickoff dangled high rewards, luring others to hunt them. Heavy prizes always drew brave men. And in F70, every soul lived with their head tied to their belt. Throw out meat rich enough and many would risk everything. Thank you. Satisfied, Ning Fan asked no more. He doubted the guard would reveal anything useful. Hunters, need your weapons fused? AG District Merchant approached, smiling. He eyed their weapons, then spread his hands. My prices are cheap. Ning Fan glanced around. The 3rd floor was sparse. Few hunters. Few merchants. And when Ning Fan's team arrived, he felt the merchants' eyes on them. Business was scarce. Cheap. Ning Fan smiled. So fusion prices differ here? Of course. The man lowered his voice. Competition here is fierce. So your edge is price? Yes, he said confidently. On this floor my fusion rates are the lowest. And success rate? Ning Fan ignored the price. Fusion has a success rate. How high can you guarantee? The man froze. Newcomers to the 3rd floor weren't supposed to know much about fusion. The outside world knew little of the craft. But this boy clearly knew someone who specialized in it. 50%. The man hesitated, then spread his hand wide. A high success rate. Ning Fan waited silently. When he had first met Wen Kai, spirit fusion cost only 10,000 Sora. But Wen Kai had warned, the failure rate was brutal. It was gambling 10,000 on a single throw. Yet when Wen Shiyuan had performed it, he had succeeded in one try. Skill and equipment mattered. And the price. Ning Fan pressed. 20 points per attempt. The man repeated firmly, no one on the 3rd floor offers cheaper. But before Ning Fan could ask more, a voice cut in. Brother, cheap work is never good work. Ning Fan turned. A square-faced man approached, smiling. Points are earned with blood. Think carefully before you spend them. The salesman's face darkened instantly. Mr. Gao, don't interfere with my business. The square-faced man chuckled. I'm talking to this young brother. What's it to you? The salesman scowled, then turned back to Ning Fan. Let's talk over here. No rush. Ning Fan looked at the newcomer. Big brother, is there a catch here? No trick, Gao waved. But finding a weapon that truly matches your spirit isn't easy. If fusion fails, you lose more than points. You lose the chance to grow stronger. I understand. Ning Fan smiled. But 50% isn't low, is it? It was clear Gao was a hunter too. A veteran. Anyone who lingered on the third floor was not someone even the G district merchants dared provoke. Yet Ning Fan couldn't quite read Gao's intent. Hunters weren't known for watching out for each other. 50% isn't bad, Gao continued. But is that 50% for perfect fusion or just ordinary fusion? The difference is huge. He explained smoothly, perfect fusion means the spirit's traits are preserved. If it matches your own spirit well, the boost in combat power, you can imagine. Ning Fan understood. When Xu Yuan's success had been a perfect fusion. Ordinary fusion only raised the weapon's soul level. It didn't keep the traits of the melted spirit. Gao turned to the salesman. You're 50% perfect fusion or ordinary? The man clenched his jaw, silent. It was ordinary. His low price was because his technique was flawed. He could only manage basic fusion. Oh, I see. Ning Fan nodded with a smile. Thanks, big brother. Anytime. The man extended his hand. Gao Song Chao. Ning Fan. Gao grinned. I've heard of you. Ning Fan chuckled. Word spreads fast. Second hunt and you toppled the 9th squad's ace. Hard not to hear. Gao's smile deepened. We of the 7th squad have no quarrel with your third. Don't turn your blade on us, eh? Ning Fan caught the meaning. Big brother, you flatter us. You really think we're ace killers? Gao's eyes gleamed. Yes. His team was the 7th squad's ace. Zhou Liang's team was strong, Gao admitted, admiration in his tone. What you did reminded all of us. By all of us, he meant every ace squad. Zhou wasn't unique. Every ace team had grown used to being hunters. They thought only of their next prey, never that they might be prey themselves. Most had already earned the right to climb to the 3rd floor. They saw each other often, not friends but familiar faces. Ace squads rarely clashed. Unless they provoked those with black wristbands, the true monsters. But Ning Fan's arrival had shaken them. Made them wary. Before we risked our lives for fame. Now we have it. Our lives aren't cheap. No need to gamble further. Ning Fan smiled lightly. Well said. Gao laughed. All right, brother Ning, I'll leave you to it. He nodded to Huizi and the others, then turned to go. Brother Gao. Ning Fan called after him. You're a regular here. Which fusion master is best? Any recommendation? Gao paused, then grinned. Not afraid I'll trick you? No need. If you wanted to, you wouldn't have stopped me earlier. Heh. Fair. Gao pointed to a stall in the southeast corner. That one's good. Pricey though, 80 points per attempt. 80 points. 400,000 Sora. Absurdly expensive. Gao shouted across the hall. Hey! I'm sending you business. You'd better cut me in. The old man at the stall snorted. Fine. Next time I'll knock off 5 points. Generous. Gao laughed, then turned back. Hope you don't mind? Not at all. Thanks. Ning Fan smiled. I'll head over. Go on. The teams parted. Huizi leaned close, voice low. Ning Fan, what's his angle? Gao's friendliness was puzzling. Ning Fan walked toward the stall, silent for a moment. Hunters on the 3rd floor think differently than those below, he murmured. Their goals aren't just wristbands anymore. He glanced at the stair to the 4th floor. Once you're here, who doesn't want to see what lies above? But those with black wristbands, no single squad can face them alone. Ning Fan replied evenly, not yet. It's too early to speak of alliances. For now, it's just courtesy among third-floor teams. It was too soon. No one knew each other well. But one thing was certain. Third-floor squads rarely clashed. For wristbands to trade into points, they could hunt the lower floors. For fame, they could challenge the black wristband holders. But fighting peers of equal level? Too difficult, too little gain. No reason for self-destruction. And if someone truly proposes an alliance later? Wheezy pressed. He wasn't thinking of hunting black wristbands yet. Though they had just slain an ace squad and morale was high, he wasn't arrogant enough to believe they could topple a black wristband bearer the same way. His question was simpler. Can anyone here be trusted? Without trust, what alliance could exist? We'll see, Ning Fan waved it off. Too early to decide. By then they had reached the stall. The old man raised his brows, half dead in appearance. Pay first. What? We haven't even asked yet. Zuben protested. 80 points. At least tell us what you can do. What can I do? The old man snapped impatiently. Guaranteed ordinary fusion. 60% chance of perfect fusion. Is that skill enough? Ning Fan's eyes lit. If the old man wasn't bluffing, that was real skill. Guaranteed ordinary fusion meant that even in failure, the weapon's soul level would rise. All right. Ning Fan didn't hesitate. Nothing mattered more now than strengthening the team. He paid 80 points. Wheezy placed his dagger and Su Wei's spike on the table. Old man, this is my weapon. Fuse the spirit of this spike into the dagger. I know. The old man snatched both weapons and disappeared into the back room. Wheezy felt uneasy. Think he understood? What if he melts my shadow instead? It'll be fine, Ning Fan said, though not entirely convinced. They waited anxiously. An hour passed. Still no sign. Old man, wake up. At least roll over. Wheezy muttered. Or get up to piss. No sound. Wheezy lost patience, stepped over the stall, ready to enter. The door swung open. The old man scowled. What the hell are you rushing for? Wheezy froze, stunned by the curse. He was about to retort when the old man tossed the dagger onto the table. Wheezy shut his mouth instantly, snatched it up, trembling with excitement. Damn, it's cold. The dagger radiated decay and chill. Ning Fan's eyes gleamed. The dead ghost's trait. The old man truly had skill. Any more? He asked. Ning Fan shook his head with a smile. Not for now. Oh. The old man slumped back into his chair and promptly fell asleep. Wheezy, let's go. Test it. Ning Fan was certain the dead ghost and shadow had synergy. But what form it would take, he was eager to see. Ha! Wheezy admired his dagger, unable to stop grinning. Though the effect was unknown, he could feel it. His spirit's soul level had risen sharply. Before fusing, Wang Ye's knuckle duster had raised his spirit to 13 souls. 10 soul level. No. 39 souls. The dead ghost had contained more than 30 souls. Even with loss during fusion, the gain was immense. They hurried downstairs. Just as they were leaving the Points Plaza, a young man approached. You're Ning Fan, right? His face was pale, weak. One arm wrapped in thick bandages. The other, severed at the elbow. Fresh wounds. You are? Ning Fan asked curiously. My name is Wu Wei. The youth gritted his teeth. Can we talk? Talk about what? I don't know you. Ning Fan's tone was cool. Wu Wei's brows furrowed tighter. He hesitated, then whispered, Zhou Liang was killed by me. Ning Fan raised a brow. And? Zhou Liang was captain of the 9th Squad's ace hunters. Wu Wei pressed on. Yes. And then? Ning Fan already guessed his meaning. Wu Wei, frustrated, spoke plainly. You didn't destroy Zhou's ace squad alone. Why should you take all the credit? Ning Fan studied his pitiful state. He could imagine Zhou's final fury, like a god of slaughter. And Zhou's greatest regret, dying to someone like this. What's your point? Feeling cheated. Wheezy stepped forward, grinning. Want half the credit? Su Ben shouted loudly. Hey! Everyone listen. The Ninth Squad's ace team was destroyed, and they helped too. Shut up. Wu Wei grabbed him, eyes bloodshot. Who the hell told you to shout? I mouth my rules, Su Ben sneered. Afraid of being known, jealous of fame? Brother, you're greedy and pathetic. Wu Wei's face flushed red. Still he turned back to Ning Fan, desperate. Brother, 3 of my men died helping kill Zhou. Doesn't that count for something? Ning Fan only smiled. We checked their spoils. Zhou's hunted wristbands weren't on him, nor on Feng Yu. They must be with the others, right? Wu Wei steeled himself. We all contributed. Can't you share one? Pled. What Ning Fan didn't know was that before dying, Zhou Liang had snapped his own longbow and spat out a final curse. You vermin think you deserve my bow? So in the end, Wu Wei's team had only taken Zhou's wristband. 30 points. A pitiful reward for such a price. Once 6-strong, Wu Wei's squad was now reduced to 3. Their strength had been fragile to begin with. Now half their future was bleak. They no longer had the right to be hunters. Stay here and they would only become prey. So Wu Wei swallowed his pride and came to Ning Fan, hoping to scrape together a little more Sora before fading away. Help us kill Zhou Liang? Before Ning Fan could answer, Huizi sneered. Did we beg you for help? Wu Wei's face twisted, speechless. Ning Fan didn't bother replying. He simply kept walking. But Wu Wei grabbed his sleeve with his injured hand. Brother, just one. His voice was low now, stripped of bravado. Too many of us died. Huizi and the others frowned, waiting for Ning Fan's response. Around them, many onlookers watched with complicated expressions. Ning Fan's gaze swept the crowd. Then he smiled. When you said you killed Zhou Liang, I could feel your pride. Wu Wei froze. Ning Fan continued, slaying the captain of the Ninth Squad's ace team. That was something you'd never even dared to dream, wasn't it? Even though you know it was luck. So many squads out there and you happened to stumble on Zhou when he was already spent. Still, it was enough to make you proud. But once the pride faded, you realized how little you'd gained. You hadn't expected Zhou to unleash such fury before death, nearly wiping your squad out. And now you grieve. But not for your fallen brothers. You grieve that their deaths bought you only 30 points. The true reward was the fame. But you don't dare claim it. You fear the Ninth Squad's vengeance. And so you feel cheated. You think our glory should have been yours. We killed a few of his men. You killed the captain. Why should we have the fame, the points, and a full team intact, while you're left with 1 wristband and 3 corpses? Wu Wei's face contorted. Ning Fan's words had carved his thoughts open, raw, and exact. The more you think, the more unfair it feels. We profited. You bled. It doesn't add up. Ning Fan smiled faintly. So you think we should give you something? Fame you won't touch. But a wristband, why not? Wu Wei lowered his head, voice barely audible. You don't need just 1 more, do you? True. We don't. Ning Fan's tone was soft. We just came down from the 3rd floor. The crowd erupted. The 3rd floor. 500 points. Everyone had heard whispers of Ning Fan's team. Newcomers in the strictest sense. Only 2 hunts behind them, including Zhou Liang. And yet they had reached the unreachable 3rd floor. Many here hadn't even touched the 2nd. Struggle was their daily life. Wu Wei's head snapped up, eyes blazing. How many wristbands did you take? 18. Ning Fan didn't hide it. Greed flared in Wu Wei's eyes. Then just 1. For you it's nothing. For us it's not much. Ning Fan cut him off, his smile gone. But why should I give it to you? Wu Wei faltered. At last he ground his teeth. You have so many. Why not share one? How many I have is none of your damn business. Ning Fan's gaze swept the crowd around Wu Wei. You still don't understand. The truth is, you were scavengers trailing behind us. Wu Wei bristled, ready to argue, until he saw Ning Fan's eyes fixed on him. F-70 has more than just Zhou Liang's ace squad. With that, Ning Fan turned and led his people out of the plaza. No one stopped them. His words had been clear. If you want glory, 12 more ace squads await. Don't beg scraps from me. Choices are yours. No one owes you anything. Outside, Huizi muttered, Ning Fan, you didn't need to say all that. I did, Huizi. Ning Fan's voice was calm. Wu Wei isn't the only one who thinks this way. Huizi nodded grimly. I can see that. Ning Fan went on, plenty scavenged that day. Plenty lost men. Not just his squad. You fear they'll band together, demand wristbands? Huizi frowned. Exactly. To most here we're still newcomers. Even if we led the strike against Zhou's team, we haven't been here long enough to inspire fear. Ning Fan's voice dropped. If it had been another ace squad, would Wu Wei have dared ask? The answer was obvious. No. He dared only because many believed Ning Fan's victory was luck. If I said nothing tomorrow, the next day more like Wu Wei would come, hoping to squeeze something from us. So I told them plainly. We've been to the 3rd floor. Names may not scare them. But the 3rd floor does. Instinctively. The longer they live here, the more they believe. Any squad with 500 points is strong. That belief is ingrained. Ning Fan smiled faintly. And by saying it, I've spared us trouble to come. Good. So you've come to seek refuge with me. That makes it hard to trust you. General Yi. Yi Liang stood behind him, face cold. His wounds had mostly healed, though faint whip scars still marked his cheeks. It was Su Bei who released me. Ye's voice was hoarse, stripped of its former clarity. The old man blinked, then chuckled. That boy wants to rebel against his father? Su Wanjun killed his mother, Yi said flatly. The elder raised his brows, thought for a moment, then nodded. So you and Su Bei share a common enemy, Su Wanjun. Yi inclined his head. Not just us. I know you've long been dissatisfied with him too. Of course. My feud with Su Wanjun isn't a secret. Who could get along with that madman? The elder's smile twisted strangely. But the problem is, I've no intention of turning against him. Yi frowned. The old man sighed. There are plenty of people I can't stand in this world. I can't fight them all. You fear him, Yi said, eyes dark. The elder regarded him calmly without offense. Yi Liang, do you think at my age I'd be goaded by such words? You didn't deny it. The elder scratched his head, then laughed softly. True. I fear him. Yi froze. This man, so casually admitting fear of Su Wanjun? Su Wanjun has no limits, the elder said, turning back to the abyss. A man with nothing to care for is the hardest to fight. He understood. If he were as cold-blooded as Su Wanjun, he would never have revealed Su Bei's whereabouts. But he couldn't. The memories still tore at him. This man feared Su Wanjun. He feared him too. It's hard to take you in, the elder continued. Even if you're sincere, I won't risk giving Su Wanjun an excuse to strike at me. Ye's eyes narrowed. He understood now. The elder confirmed it. You and Su Bei underestimate him. The fact you lived to see Su Bei is already suspicious. Do you think Su Wanjun didn't know? He calls himself heaven. How can you hide from heaven? Rather than Su Bei freeing you, it was Su Wanjun's tacit permission. He wants to see who dares shelter a traitor. The elder's gaze was sharp, bright as steel. A dog that betrayed Su Wanjun. Whoever takes it in, he'll have reason to strike. His body stiffened, trembling harder. Even now, he hadn't escaped Su Wanjun's grasp. No, impossible. He swallowed hard. Wouldn't he fear war? If the skywall falls, F District will collapse. Why should he care? The elder laughed. If F District burns, what's that to Su Wanjun? Cold seeped into Ye's bones. Yes. Su Wanjun cared for no one. Not even his own son. Why would he care for the lives of F District? Why hesitate to protect it? He wouldn't. That man is inhuman. The elder's tone carried weary resignation. Whether it's me, Kobayashi, or the Central District, we endure him only because he still guards the skywall. But how long will he keep guarding it? No one knows. The Central District waits for its chance to strike. He hasn't turned on them yet, perhaps because his plans aren't complete. But when he's ready, this city will drown in chaos. Yi fell silent. His hope of finding another commander to lean on was shattered. This elder outranked Su Wanjun in years, yet even he dared not confront him. Then how could Yi ever avenge his blood? Yi Liang, go back. The elder waved him off with a sigh. Inside the district, raise whatever trouble you like. But don't expect me to help you take revenge. No matter Su Wanjun's sins, it isn't my place to intervene. My purpose is only one. He placed a hand on the wall, gazing at the faint glow beyond. To guard the sky wall. Still not used to it. Huizi was drenched in sweat. For 2 days he had been training with his newly fused spirit, the dead ghost. Unlike Su Wei, Huizi's dagger pierced shadows, extending the dead ghost's effect through them. But if the area was too large, the effect weakened. His greatest struggle now was control. Su Wei's dead ghost had spared Sun Yingying within its domain. Huizi couldn't replicate that. Big Ben, you look ugly old, Huizi teased, staring at Su Ben's wrinkled face. Su Ben's expression twisted. Enough. Let me go. Indeed, Su Ben was his sparring partner. At the moment he looked older than Su Jiang. Huizi quickly pulled the dagger free from Su Ben's shadow, afraid he might kill him by accident. Su Ben slowly returned to normal, then hefted his massive crossbow, aiming at Huizi. Your turn to train with me. Huizi jumped back, panicked. Ning Fan. Look at him, he's wrecking team harmony. Ning Fan only chuckled, ignoring the pair of clowns. Just then a knock sounded at the door. Someone's here. Stop fooling around. Huizi shoved the crossbow aside, turning serious. Don't tell me someone's still desperate enough to come begging? Ning Fan looked surprised. Brother Fan, it's me. A voice came from outside. Qi Huan.